Why are all these people still moving to Arizona? Is California taking over the state? Comment down below if you think California is taking over Arizona, or if you're from California and you moved over here, share why. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to talk about the migration patterns from 2022 now that all the data is out. Where are people coming from that are moving to Arizona? And are we still getting a mass influx of California people moving over here? When you drive around here, you definitely think so because it seems like every third license plate is from California. But we're actually seeing migration from some other states right now, including Washington State and Oregon. So when we look at the primary reasons why a lot of people move here, I think cost probably is almost always number one. But after COVID, a lot of people rethought their lives and they wondered if there was a better way to live a better quality of life. Here was a common thing. I read this article. This person was leaving Seattle, and we've had experience because we've had 3 sales in the last 12 months from people moving over here from Seattle. But homelessness and crime, traffic, tolls, people aren't super friendly, the cost of living. Again, when you're looking at cost of living, you have to include what does it cost for license plates? What does it cost for utilities? What does it cost for sales tax? There's a lot of factors. Property taxes, that's a huge one. And state income tax, that's another big one. You can always compare moving. There's charting out there to compare moving from California to Arizona and what the difference is. And primarily housing is always one of the biggest expenses. Another thing, most of my friends have already left. Because of our proximity in Arizona to California and these western states, that's another reason that people come here. People come over and say, well, geez, it's a 2-hour flight to go back home and see my friends or go back home and see my parents. So when people move over to Arizona, they don't feel like they're really leaving the area, so to speak. Not like if they moved to Chicago. Now, the National Association of Realtors has their charts of migration and where people are coming and going, and where's the biggest net migration, meaning the biggest increase in populations for people net moving into the states. Well, Florida was number one at almost 2%, Texas was number two, North Carolina number three, South Carolina number four. Where are people leaving the most? California, New York, Illinois, New Jersey, and Massachusetts. Those are the top states where people are leaving. And United Van Lines breaks it down by why people are moving or to or away from Arizona. You can see number one on their list, and here's their categories: retirement, health, family, lifestyle, job, and cost. Inbound traffic to Arizona beats outbound the most with retirees. Retirees come here primarily from California. They want to get out of the rat race. We have a lot of retirement communities and stuff with good amenities for golf, fitness, outdoor lifestyle, dating, all kinds of things that people can do in some of these 55 plus communities that we have, or some of the communities that are much less expensive. Now, normally they're further away from the city, but it's a much more peaceful type lifestyle, low stress, less traffic. Next, we have health. You can see inbound and outbound based on health is kind of a wash. Family. We actually have more people leaving Arizona because of family. And why would that be? The reason that is because we have a lot of people coming over here for our big universities, Arizona State and University of Arizona. The young couples meet in college, they end up getting married, they love the weather out here, they stay for a few years, but when they decide on having a family, they end up moving back to where they were from. Let's say, for an example, Chicago. If they have family and friends back in the Midwest, they want to be around their family when they're raising their children. They want to be around their grandparents so the grandparents can help raise the kids, take care of the kids. And that's why we get a lot of migration out of Arizona after young couples decide they want to have a family. Lifestyle. We'd have more migration in for lifestyle. People want to be able to be outdoors more. They want to enjoy the weather more. They want to do things, and it's a little easier to do it even though it's hot in the summer. It's better here than it is in the states where they have a lot of snow. job is kind of a wash. Moving in and moving out for a job, it's almost extremely equal. Next thing is cost. So for a lot of people that are moving here from the Midwest, they think Arizona has gotten too expensive and the cost isn't prohibitive for them to move here. But if you're coming from California, Washington, or Oregon, it's still cheaper to move here when you weigh in all the costs, including the taxes, including utilities, including the infrastructure that we have here. There's just so many things that are less expensive here in Arizona when you throw them in one big pot and stir them up. And that's what it comes down to. People are leaving because they can come over here as renters in California and buy a home in Arizona. And for some people, that's the dream of their lifetime, is to be able to buy their own home. So United Van Lines also checks out their migration patterns based on age. So you can see that 65 or older is our biggest inbound migration versus 37% outbound. The reason that is basically retirement. You know, we have people coming here. As you get older, your health becomes more critical and you want to be in an area where you can be more active and probably have a little bit better health. You can do more things outside, ride bikes, work out, do walks, play golf. There's just so many things you can do here. In some of the other categories, it's kind of a wash. It's really not that big of a difference in the migration. As far as income, our largest group of migration comes from the higher income earners to Arizona. Now, why is that? A lot of those higher paying jobs where people were living in California and they make over $150,000 a year, some of the young tech professionals, they have been able to come over here and work remote. And they can buy $1 million home over here versus in California, that same home would be 1.5 to 2 million. So with that income, they can live a much better lifestyle over here and raise a family if they want, or they can buy more things and do more with their money in general. Another reason why that happens is we have, again, a lot of retirees or business executives that move out here as their primary residence, and then they may have their second residence back where their business is in the Midwest. Now, U-Haul is primarily done with people that are making their own move. They're renting the truck, they're loading their own furniture, and they're making the move. And they're just basically talking about where they get the most one-way moves with their equipment. And Arizona last year was number 5, and this year we dropped to number 7. The number 1 place where people were moving with their U-Hauls was Texas, followed by Florida. And you can see in the last 2 years, they've maintained their positions. And then it was South Carolina, which is growing, and North Carolina. Then we had Virginia and Tennessee. So Arizona's dropping as far as what U-Haul is seeing with one-way moves. And again, those are normally smaller moves. Now, states sending the most people to Arizona, as we discussed earlier in the video, it's Washington, California, and Texas. In general, though, our largest amount of people every year comes from California. So I just wanted to share this information with you now that the data has been available from 2022. If you have any comments about what's happening in the real estate market, what you think about moving to Arizona, are you going to leave California and move over here? Comment down below, share your information with us. We'd love to hear what you have to say about moving out of the state.